All right, I'm going to call the meeting to order at 6:05. Present are Diane, Linda, BJ, Ken, myself for the board, Rosemary and Eric. Rosemary for the clerk treasurer and Eric as the manager. And your name, please, is?
I'm Victoria Holloway from the Wildfire.
Great. Thank you. Actually, we're going to start this meeting with an executive session. So I need a motion. The purpose of the executive session is to discuss the status, permanency, if you will, of our village manager.
A motion to go into executive session for evaluation of an employee that's allowed under VS1 VSA 313A3.
Is there a second to Ken's motion?
Second.
Second, any discussion? There's some weird echo in that. All in favor of Ken's motion?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. So it's unanimous. We're going into executive session to discuss Eric Bailey's status.
With Eric and Rosemary.
No, you don't discuss an issue with or a thing with Eric here. He goes down and then he comes up.
I thought he was.
You want me to stay or go?
That's
That's,
up to you.
yeah, that one's up to you.
But Gigi and Tori are gonna have to leave. So we're back to treasurer's report.
Okay, the only thing I have is the warning for the annual meeting for April 4th. Article 1 is to elect the acquired officers by Australian ballot. And Article 2 will be to accept the annual report. Article 3 is to authorize the trustees to appoint a water and light commissioner, if not, then to elect a water and light commissioner. And Article 4 is to authorize the trustees to set rates of compensation for its officers and employees. And Article 5 is on the budget. Article 6 is to authorize the village to appoint a clerk. And Article 7 is to appoint the treasurer. And Article 8 is any other business. Short and sweet.
Thank you. So is that it for you?
Yep, and if you, this needs to be posted by, yeah, it needs to be posted by
Is it just one we do or?
this one.
Okay, you're.
I motion to approve the annual village meeting warning
There's
as
second,
written.
Ken's motion,
Second.
all in discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Passes unanimously.
Whose signature is that first one? Not you, BJ.
Mhm.
You need to learn to write.
Date this 29th day.
Come on, everyone knows me.
It's the first, the 29th?
No.
It's the 1st of March.
I know, I was being funny.
Oh, David, this birthday of.
It's February 30th. When's your pen a second?
Date actually is the 29th every fourth year, just not this year.
Yeah.
Next item on the agenda. Treasurer's report.
Just did that. Just did that.
Oh, we just did that.
Members of the
Members of the public. Go ahead.
Thank you.
Gigi.
My name is Gigi Beach and I am a resident of Railroad Street. And I would like to offer an apology to you all because I posted on Front Porch Forum about my vote to get a coat of paint on the mill house before I had actually brought it up with you or talked about it with you, and I apologize. I had planned on coming at the last meeting, but I did not get here in time for the public comments. I did talk to the select board. And they raised some concerns, and I'm trying to get all of the answers that would answer anyone's questions by the time you have scheduled a joint meeting. I was under the impression from the select board meeting that they're working on that. So when that happens, I will then present what I'm proposing to you, both as a group, because the building, as I understand it, is still currently jointly owned.
Right.
And so, but I do apologize, when I get excited about something, sometimes I don't always follow the chain of command. And, but I am trying to, do that. So I apologize if I offered, if I gave anybody any discomfort. I will do my best to
Thank you, Gigi.
not do that in the future. I'm getting used to my
Your
apologies.
apology is accepted.
I see where you did nothing wrong. You just made a suggestion for an old building to make it look nicer, so.
Thank you.
Trying to make your computer look good.
Oh, and I, just along those lines, if I could say one more thing quickly, because I know it's late. Because it is a joint building, and I have just been, elected treasurer of Johnson Works. And so we're trying to get that going again, and this is just a piece of information for you to, ponder before the joint meeting. We're thinking that it would be best, or not best, but we will have not always, as you guys are not always having the same board, neither will Johnson Works. And so we were thinking that that building also might be a great way, because of the rail trail development, to utilize that space potentially for other community groups to meet. So anyway, just something to think about.
What did you find out with the lead paint stuff?
The lead paint is not an issue as long as it is not
Sprayed or
sorry, you know, so it's not an issue. Just to top it out there, and I have the select board doesn't mind, but I'm waiting for documentation from a colleague of Rob and Corey's, Alec Jones. I don't know if you're familiar with them, but it is looking. I want everything in writing, so that there aren't any questions. But I'm just making this up, which is what I'm working on. And thank you, PJ, for doing that follow-up. But because the painting of the surface of the building will not involve digging, the brown fields should not be an issue. But I will have that in writing by the time of the joint meeting, so that then hopefully, and I'm donating the paint, so there should not be, I'll buy it. I just want to get this done by the time that spring comes around and people are doing the rail trail and enjoying it. So that there should not be, I hope, a whole lot of dissent about.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Village managers update on any action items.
Yeah, this is just an update, because it's not the monthly meeting, so.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so start off, the biggest thing is I sent an award letter to NBU for the $20,000 energy efficiency upgrade project. And copied, I'm glad I copied President Gruhl, who's the president of all of Vermont State University. His response was quick and very happy, so. Yeah, both emails are in the packet. And I then assured the campus of NBU staff, VIPSA and Efficiency Vermont to evaluate projects for the award. And our preliminary results indicate that lighting upgrades for either or both shape and sterns will yield the best results.
How much are they thinking it will save them? Do they have any idea?
I think the Efficiency Vermont analyst is still crunching those numbers. Yeah. And Nate and I have been managing the sidewalk and parking lot plowing schedule successfully, minimizing OT while keeping the sidewalks at a very high standard. And while inquiring about the possibility of making the main street pedestrian crossing a flashing sign, I found out it may be possible to incorporate that into the AOT project at no village expense. And the process of adding an additional crosswalk or two may be easier than in the past. They did a new process. Also, just FYI, the AOT project has been delayed. Big surprise. It's, you know, the state. Now the bid openings will be no earlier than August, with the potential to get some of the work done before winter. I'll be working with Chris Lathrop, which is their contract design engineer, on the Neptune crossing out.
Unbelievable. Good news is we won't have a messed up road all summer,
Right, this summer.
this summer.
Right, and the other good news is we might end up with some
Right.
good crosswalk.
Yes, with, and
crosswalks.
flashing signs.
That'd be cool.
So nothing in the road itself, it'll be signs, right, is what you're saying?
Right, so the current crosswalk crosses into the road. The side street there,
Railroad Street.
Pearl.
Pearl. It it goes
The
right in,
bookstore.
yeah, it goes right into, you know, right into Pearl Street. So the AOT design actually angles it, so it goes into the green strip for the sidewalk and not into a traffic lane. So there's there'll be a little change there.
And where would the additional ones be?
Well, the people that I didn't notice at the bank.
Oh,
That was a request many times for the kids that go to the fire department and access to the municipal office.
So I'm gonna look around and see if we can, I mean, that's gonna be the thing, the priority one, then we'll try to add, you know, one or two more.
That was the one that was recently denied.
I was gonna say, didn't we get it denied?
Maybe we'll get to,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, from Butternut over to the
Butternut
Village
To
Green
the
is a,
village green.
right,
that, you know, people go to that food, all the tourists.
But you
go
just
from
got-
Butternut to the Village Green.
You just gotta consider that there's one
I know.
30
right
feet away
there.
from it, so they're not gonna fall for that one. The best thing would be Maple
Down
Fields
by Maple Fields.
right.
and
Spring.
down in this end of the town, but they recently denied us the one right here.
Yeah.
So
Right,
that's-
of course,
Cause they always come in when there's no college. to-
right, and I
to
brought that up,
yeah.
yeah, they need to, if they're gonna have to do another study, that they do it in like May or September versus when half our population is
Gone.
gone.
Right.
Yeah.
What's good, the ones that are doing the counting are the ones that are in college.
Exactly. We talked about this. They're using interns who are in college, so they have to do it when they're not in college. So it's complete for a college town, that doesn't work.
So I brought up to Eric about the flashing lights to get that rolling again, because I got a call from village resident who almost hit a young kid walking across by Sterling Market just the other night.
By the bank?
And it's hard to see when somebody jumps right out from that little thing right there, you're instantly in the road. And that was what rang my bell and made me call you about it.
It is, yeah, that and Pearl Street.
Yeah, but yeah, that's the show between meetings up there.
Okay, thank you, Eric. I guess you still have the floor for items 2, 3, and 4.
Oh, boy. So
So-
two, well, we already had the presentation. The 4 people present felt good about it, but we were waiting till Ken had stopped having a very bad time with himself. To see how if he had any questions. And I don't know if you had a chance to review that meeting and such and.
Yeah. So as far as what now, as far as,
Water and sewer budgets,
okay, so
those are, we just want to get those.
I was glancing through and everything and this looks good. The only thing that I was concerned about was it, and you must have spoken to Dan about this.
Oh, yeah, we went through line by
So he
line.
didn't have any more worries about more parts for the press,
That was all part, yeah, he's got his, well lined out.
because we had pretty much budgeted to rebuild it last time,
Right,
and I didn't,
he's got most of it done,
yeah, and I knew he's found more things, so I didn't read the new
right. yeah,
everything.
All the treatment stuff was done, me and Dan, and then the the collection system, was me and Nate.
Okay, my other concern is that we should start considering about the cupola. Again, worse, pieces are falling down all the time.
We're looking at. Trying to look at a possibility of doing some stuff in-house this summer, and then if not, we'll look at next year.
I don't see no way in hell
Well-
insurance to let them guys get up there above that.
We're not looking at just full disassembly, we're thinking about pulling the windows and putting louvers in.
Yeah, because that can be open up there,
Yeah.
right? That can be an open
The
spot.
whole, the best idea me and Dan could come up with is to remove the football completely and cap the walls. The only sewer treatment facility that's covered with a roof in the state of Vermont. And it was absolutely, it was beautiful when they did it, but it was the stupidest thing I've ever
It
done
was.
because
It was.
what happens when everybody that has a swimming pool in the building, it's unheated, it's not good, it's just falling apart.
All those windows were louvers, we might have a good stabilizing effort.
Yeah, well, if I was Dan's thinking, he agreed with it, 'cause I know before we were really on to getting around and moving it. But it needed to go, so, and because there's concern that those pieces fall and now are falling down in the treatment sections. And then
Do
that
we need to
causes
get
issues.
estimates on that?
Yeah.
No, we're talking about,
Doing the guys doing it?
yeah, we'll use harnesses and,
Just to remove the windows and stuff.
yeah,
I thought he was talking about removing the roof.
no.
Oh.
And then will that take care of that problem?
It may stabilize enough to make it okay.
I thought there was a little, some rotten framing. no?
Oh, yeah.
There's a little bit, yeah, but it's big timber, so it has to run a lot more.
It's got a lot of micro laminate in that and stuff, and there's a lot of steel.
All right, it's not 2x4, it's a 2x6.
Right, no, it's.
Well, it is, but it isn't structural.
Okay,
It's a very robust structure.
okay.
Okay. So. We good otherwise? All right, I guess.
So can do we need to vote on it now?
You call a vote on both those.
All right, the 2023, water budget. We need a motion for that.
I make a
You have
motion.
an amount, Eric, that we're voting on?
Sure.
Wastewater or water?
We're starting with water. We're going with the in first and the out second.
The 312.
No, this is it. Hold on, that's below my. It's all the stuff. we're doing. Oh, it was 312. There it is.
335.
Yep,
So motion to pass the water budget, $312,335 for 2023.
Is there a second to BJ's motion?
Second.
Diane, discussion on BJ's motion?
So last year, the water was 200 and what?
76.
200. Okay, I've got 280 something here on this. one.
Okay, the actual, sorry, the actuals.
Yeah.
286.
Okay, so,
Yeah, 286, 753.
so we're going with an increase of,
What was it, like 8% or something?
Like
Like
8%.
9, yes.
Which, yeah, part of it, part of the increased cost, part of it is because we are now funding reserves, paying ourselves versus paying interest for other people.
okay, so it's 9.8% increase. And this
Oh,
isn't including our actual water rate. increase.
The water rate, it's causing, it's causing a 9.8 water rate increase, which is gonna be one of your next motions.
Okay,
Any other discussion on the water budget? Vote on the water budget. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
alright,
Passes unanimously. So now we'll do the sewer budget.
Okay, 496, 580.
49. 949
6.
658.
So I motion to pass the sewer budget, $496,580, 2023.
Second on BJ's motion,
Second. Second.
second, Linda, discussion on BJ's motion.
What was the increase? Percentage wise?
Oh,
Again, it's right around 9%, right, Eric?
I mean, as far as what a rate increase is gonna be, yes.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Well,
Lost. As you can see, I lost my actuals for 22.
and this reflects the fact that it's more expensive for us to process used water than to supply new water.
Absolutely is more, it's, yeah, getting rid of sludge is a really expensive item.
Uh-huh.
And it's just the energy to run a treatment facility
Mhm.
is,
So it's a big electric bill, right?
it's a huge electric bill.
Uh-huh.
And then chemicals and,
So we're thinking it's 9 or is it 9 point something, do you know,
well,
roughly?
as far as the actual, I don't know the exact,
Oh, okay.
what the 2022, and I lost it on my sheet.
That's the printout I had. I couldn't actually find the total on that one. I thought it was a lot higher. That's a buck. Yes.
Swear. Rick. Wastewater. 2020. Budget actuals. Same.
It's the only one, everyone's water. Yeah, I couldn't find the total on that one.
Yeah, where's the-
If I was missing a page or
Right.
from last year, I don't remember ripping it out, but.
Accounts payables. Sewer sales, would that be that one? Oh, I think it's
I had
right
a
here.
244.
Would that be it? Total? Or no?
No. I thought it was 244 or 244.
That'd be a
So
major.
two budgeted, we had 244,814.
Oh, that went up.
Do you still have? Last year's I'm one of my.
Yeah, that's a $500,000 now. That's a big jump,
That's why I was,
like
that's
extreme.
why I brought another one to one. I'm gonna get hollered at for raising all this stuff, so I wanna make sure I know what.
Doesn't this include, our contract to H2O Solutions at some point in this contract?
It does.
And this, budget?
Receipts in a year. Available. Cash on hand.
Do you still have the water?
I don't know, maybe she can make 10% of it. That's what we got from last year.
That's last year's?
Yeah,
You want to over budgeted last year's or you?
I wanna know what the actual overall budget was.
That's the closest one to what we have right now. 450,000.
Maybe that's what it is.
Cause we have 496.
It was on my water and electrical one, but
The budget last year was 743.
I thought it was higher.
992.
Wow, that's a lot higher.
Riverview Street pump station.
And that's why I was.
Yeah.
Oh,
Right,
$300,000.
yeah, that's the story that's on.
so we'd go.
It's like, what's going on here? It threw me off too.
So you're saying our rate increase for the sewer is gonna be 9 something?
Right, so the next, after you pass this budget, the next,
Okay,
motion will be on the rate changes for the whole.
that's all I have to. I was just trying to find compare numbers.
Yeah,
Would you put on 9?
And what did you say it was for last year, Ken?
700,000
because we had the River Street,
But that included, you know,
yeah.
River Street project, 745,992.
Oh, great, I'm like, here's locking that, so I can't move.
But that was 100 and almost 200,000 for the river project, right?
Close to 300,000.
Yeah.
All said and done.
That's what we budget.
Well, now you guys got it. Have me mess around with this thing's not cooperating anymore. Okay, so, while I'm doing this.
Yes, we can vote on it, Steve, I just, that was my only.
Okay, so we have a motion, a second, we've had a discussion. All in favor of, I think it was BJ's motion.
Yeah.
Yes.
All in favor?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. It passes unanimously.
Okay, then the last, water and sewer motion will be to approve both water and wastewater, rate increase of 9.8% across the board,
Should it have an effective date?
as soon as possible.
Rosemary, what's that?
I mean, effective the next billing cycle.
Okay.
The average increase.
So but, yeah, I bring that up.
Yeah, you had that.
You don't have to, I was just curious from top of my head.
So family residence, ranges from $5 to $10 total.
Per month.
Yeah,
Is that for both water and sewer?
that's for both. Those are actual December. So I took actual December bills and then showed you what it would be under the new,
Mhm.
the new rates.
So that's the actual for the water.
This is for water and sewer combined.
Mr. Chair, I'm gonna abstain from this vote, since how I do not use village water or sewer. Although I do think that is a fair increase for not having the increase throughout the year.
So I motion to approve water and wastewater increase of 9.8% on the next billing cycle.
Is there a second to BJ's motion? Any discussion?
So I have a question. So the $60 and that is the flat rate and then then it's
No,
metered after that? No.
no, so
That's the average price. The average
so the green is the average increase.
increase,
So
right?
basically, you see the first line, that's
Yeah.
one of our lower users.
Yeah.
Their bill in December was $55.
Mm,
Under the new rates, it'd be $60, and the
Oh,
green
I
is just the difference.
Okay.
That's all it is, just.
Which
Oh,
amounts,
see,
which amounts to a 9.8%, right?
Correct.
If you do the math.
Correct.
okay.
Any other discussion on
Yes.
this, rate increase?
Is this for the bills that go out in April or the bills that go out in May?
Next cycle, what's that considered? April?
How,
So basically, starting,
Should give 30 days notice to the ratepayers.
Give them a notice in their
Okay.
next bill.
that's not
So
fair.
net, May billing cycle.
Okay, so with the May suck, so in the next bill, we can enclose a notice of the increase that it will be coming on following month.
You should probably have Eric warn that on the front page for him, Facebook, wherever else you can, so.
Okay. Any other discussion on this motion? We're ready for a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Ken is abstaining. The motion passes unanimously.
Okay.
The next item,
well, you wanna do the hard one first?
yeah, let's do the hard one first while we're still somewhat.
Yeah. All right.
What's
Yeah.
the electric?
Is that focus or is it a little bit twist?
Yeah, it's.
I'll get that twist.
Ooh, that's, yeah, right
That's
there.
better.
That's good.
Okay. So on revenues, we for some reason had a lot of merchandise and jobbing revenue last year. I didn't account for that to be prudent. So went with the previous one. Line extensions, I kept this, basically I kept most things the same. The dividend income, we increased because, well, that's how dividends work, and we bought more shares of Transco and such. So that went up. Miscellaneous went up because of the 10K from Lion, which will be here in approximately 2 weeks. And it accounts for the mutual aid revenues. Because we're gonna show the cost of mutual aid, but we also, we're doing mutual aid billable now, which is, will help.
Just for Hyde Park or for other?
Currently, it's just for Hyde Park because they have no capacity to
help.
back. And no one else has asked,
Yeah, okay.
so. Yeah,
So that's where mutual aid is always gonna go, under miscellaneous income.
yeah,
Okay.
so. Sales kept fairly stable because it has been fairly stable. Sales commercial, I brought up a little bit. A small commercial just because we've got, we've got that grow farm that's using a lot of juice. And it's gonna go up even more. It looks like Percy's pit is more than likely going to shut off their diesel and hook on, so that'll be a nice jump in sales, but we don't know when that happens. So it's hard to really account for it.
We still have to negotiate the rate with them.
Right, or whatever incentives that is gonna be worked on with us and Vipsa.
Okay, Best will help us with that.
Yeah,
And northern Vermont is like they're pretty stable, and what's the metering happening there and all of that?
well, the meter is still being worked on by, I forget the fellow's name up in Morrisville. He just asked some questions that Ann fielded, and he's still working on it.
So we actually haven't purchased it yet, let alone installed.
Right, and it, depending on which way it goes, it could be cheaper, or it could be more expensive. There's some parts where it could be a lot cheaper than what we thought.
Pin it right down, Eric.
Yeah, it's.
So that was.
Cheaper.
In terms of for a lot cheaper, it came up, which was kind of cool, so we just don't know if that's possible. We're gonna see if, this old thing works with this new thing, and there's a lot of electrical engineering, going on there.
And that was included in this budget.
Say that again, Ken?
I
I
said
didn't
that
hear.
was included in this budget, the cost of that meter. Or when we approved it, it come out of last year.
It was already in,
I think
already,
so.
right?
Yeah, last year.
Why, we didn't approve it till a couple months ago.
Right.
I thought we had approved that.
It
Right.
wasn't 3 months ago max when we approved that, maybe 4.
Oh, maybe, yeah, in September, you're right.
So did all the
Well, actually, yes, the substation, I bumped up the substation line for that. Just caught me off guard. Yes.
No, I was just.
Substation is bumped up, and you'll see that.
I was against buying the state of meter, so.
Yeah,
So Eric, did the international workers coming from Smugs and using the dorms, did that help our, or is that gonna be in next year's, our usage, the
I mean,
income
Does it
flow?
matter?
it probably did some, but they're only at the very end,
Okay.
so
Uh-huh.
it's hard to really say. What, 2 months last year, something like that.
And it's only 2 buildings that they took over.
Yeah, but it had to help.
November,
It
December.
had to help, because like, for instance,
Only half in November.
last week when we toured,
Uh-huh.
the kitchen was open on break, and it would not be other than the fact that the internationals were there. So that's drawn juice.
Are they going to do that again? Do you know, did you get any,
Plan on it,
they are?
yeah,
Okay.
until they can figure out some other aspect of whether we're gonna build a building or what, but it seems to be the most viable for us right now.
Yeah, so
Thanks.
if you look down at the bottom of revenues, we're, just a little bit more.
Can you close your document recovery, please? On your thing, please, thank you.
Close, we're 200.
I just, that way I could just read the left.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Pull it over.
Oh, perfect, thank you.
There it is. Yeah, I pulled it over so I could read that note and, yeah. Yeah. So, total revenue, we're just over last year. And go down into taxes miscellaneous. Depreciation, which is one of those things that the accountants make us put in, but the bank never sees it. Other taxes, just here. Gross revenue, taxes never go down. And then I added a line item, which I still have to make sure the PUC will allow. Because I don't know that in depth, but as we discussed with water and sewer, I'm a big proponent of reserves.
Mhm.
It makes you more stable and put you in a better position. So I added in $20,000 in reserves, which in this bigger budget is a very small amount, but it's a start. Right, so that put our expenses $20,000 more than last year. Interest expense. It goes down a little bit because as you pay off loans, you pay less interest, you pay more principal. So you'll see principal expense will be a little higher. Power purchased. Are we down? I need to go down, don't I?
Yeah, I'm not seeing them.
Yeah,
Yep. So there we go. Power purchase. I put that down just a hair due to reports I'm getting from the guy who tracks all the natural gas costs for VIPSA. Right now, after a big scare on natural gas prices, they dove. And the futures market says that they're not going to move up very much.
mild winter have something to do with it, maybe?
That and just some other international stuff. So with that being stabilized, I was able to basically just go down just a little bit on power purchase cost. Project 10 charges went up. That's straight off the VIPSA. So that's not set by me at all. Other expenses is a major increase in the renewable energy standard by the Vermont legislature.
I didn't know.
That's one of those things. Until nothing exists but wind, solar, and local hydro, they're just gonna keep turning the ratchet.
I mean, everybody wants wind and solar, but nobody wants it in their town.
Operating expenses. So
Has the Village of Morrisville given you any estimates for this year? For the transmission expenses? They haven't sent us any bill for last year, yeah.
they have not,
Oh, that's great.
yeah.
We usually get it in February, March.
Mm,
Mhm.
what is it, a bottom, approximate?
Well, last year it was 14, 2
Mm.
years ago it was $14,000.
2 years ago, yeah. Well,
Mm.
they didn't know us last year.
Not yet.
Are you thinking it's gonna be this as high?
But generally don't go down.
Right,
It's getting older, more maintenance.
right.
So we have to put an amount in there just for the thought of
Yeah,
that.
we should.
So if it's like 15, should we do 20 just to be on the safe side, or do you think it'd be a lot more than that?
I wouldn't think it'd be. We hear the transmission.
I'll do the breakup tomorrow, I'll just put it, you wanna put it at 20?
Second.
I would rather see a surplus than a deficit when we come back and tell them we didn't have enough money to pay the bill.
There you go. And I'll split that up amongst those columns, tomorrow morning.
It won't hurt so bad that way.
Right. Right. So labor, operations, supervision, and engineering, mostly operations supervision. That's just part of Nate's time. Safety, operating supplies, we didn't buy the full 5,000 last year, but it's good to keep it in there. Another thing to consider is, this budget is gonna be part of the exhibits being used when we go in for our rate case. So we don't wanna really, go
Yeah.
too crazy. hurting
Cutting
ourselves.
everything.
So let me ask you, are we gonna be able to cut back on the uniform expenses if we decide to go?
Let me get there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Jumping again.
Patient.
Stay on the right line,
I
BJ.
can't say the lines.
A lot of lines here.
Short answer is yes, we'll talk about
Okay.
it. Alright, so maybe we'll go down through,
Page 2.
most of the labor stuff stayed, fairly similar. We have distribution system maintenance. Same thing, most of it stayed fairly similar. Little bumps on some stuff. But transformer maintenance went up a little bit. What's this? Yeah, a couple different transformer lines went up a little bit as well. Transformers are expensive now, more so than they used to be.
So that's what the zeros and then the number. The actual and then the budget is.
Right, so the zeros are like the capital,
Labor capital.
we didn't have any use for the sub outdoor, that's outside labor type stuff, and we're working on the sub this year. So, and we've already spent some on it. So, last year they didn't do any work in the substation needs work. Yep. And we're already in it.
We just added 20 to it, so.
So
Looking at 20 years.
like last year, the budget was set for 27,700, but none of it got spent, correct?
Right.
So we still have that in the.
No, we spent it elsewhere, and we overspent the budget, so it's just that line item.
Gotcha.
That line item is, fat, but it got soaked everywhere else.
Right.
The
and that's what
electrical
happened with the
department
budget.
continuously subsidizes the other
Spent on
department.
I thought you did.
So,
Yeah.
Yep, so. Basically, distribution maintenance mostly went up in transformer areas. And
That's what it
then
ends up being.
customer
That's
account
what it was
operations
Last year.
stays fairly similar. It's down. I can't see it very well either. I'm gonna go ahead.
Yeah, and it's in the center of it again. and nothing else.
Alright. Administrative in general, trustees' salaries went up because we didn't have 5 trustees for the entire year last year.
Let it went down.
Last year was down. This year I'm getting fully funded. Auditor salaries, I plus that up a little bit. We didn't use it last year. I expect we will this year. Administrative salaries went up significantly because,
Of Eric.
largely because Ann's, Ann's salary I put on the administrative side. Where she's doing the, one side of what was formerly Troy's job, which none of it came out of admin, the way it was accounted for.
Troy was under consultants or something?
Well, but I've seen when he was.
Oh,
Supervision and engineering.
So I have hers all in the admin side, 'cause it's. When you're doing the spreadsheet stuff to break down the salaries and all. It's much easier to keep her as a salary person in that section versus down with the food. So this line's bigger, other lines are smaller. Actually, something I didn't show during the water and sewer budget presentation
What is that?
was.
So that administrative salaries, that's,
Here's what I want to show you. Bottom line on salaries, this is for all departments. Is 1.4% higher than it was in 2021, which was the last time we had a full foreman and a manager. So, and that's, if you think about the cost of living increases, that we've had
Hasn't
since
gone up
then,
at all.
that it's gone down.
Yeah, pay no attention to that.
Well, I'm just saying,
I know.
effectively, the salary line item has gone down from 2 years ago, the way we're doing it now.
We paid out a little extra for this stuff for the contracted services, which chewed up some of it.
Well, we don't anymore though.
Correct.
I'm saying this is,
Oh, no, I know.
this is
you're
from before contracted
I know.
services.
saying. You're saying.
We're looking better than before contracted services. That's the only point there. Okay,
So will you explain the administrative salaries thing again?
administrative salaries is myself and 80% of Marla, 40% of Lydia, Sue, and Rosemary.
And what about the office expense thing? How come that dropped so much?
Office.
Why so under administrative in general?
Yep.
It's the one, sixth one down? Yeah, you gotta rate that. It's the sixth one.
Yeah, I'm not sure why that.
That office expense is a catch-all for lots of different things.
Yeah, I think that was a clerical error where I missed a digit.
So you want it 35 instead of 5?
Yeah, that was a clerical error.
That's it, you're fired. I fire my girls every day. They just laugh at me.
Outside services, this is where we're actually saving some money. So that was a mixture of Dolan services and a lot of unfortunate legal expenses that I don't foresee that nearly that much in the future.
Well, there was also, so that must have been also including the hiring firm
Might have been too.
that got the one that
Yeah,
we had looking for Eric.
yeah.
I thought he only charged us like
3,000 or 4,000, right?
Well, a lot of it was the engineer firm we hired to do the work on the garage.
Yeah. But so basically I cut that down because we look a lot better in that position.
Okay, so you match legal with what the year before?
Actually, I think about it just a little bit.
Okay, and
We'll just-
what was the last thing you brought up, the office supplies, would you bring that up? What was
35K.
3,500?
Yeah.
3,000.
Yeah, that was just.
Because Rosemary wants some extra office supplies.
Well, that he.
I know, I'm just messing.
We're not using so many envelopes.
right, that envelope, taking the envelope sauce is gonna really
Yeah, it's gonna really.
put it in half
Yeah.
probably.
Yeah.
Lobbying, I zeroed out because that's part of our VIPSA fees.
Uh-huh.
Which
What had a big increase, right?
what's it? No, VIPSA, so the big increase in what we pay in our total VIPSA bill is it's an 18% increase. Almost all of that is renewable energy standard. The actual VIPSA, what their office is, as you see on that line 122, is a 6.2% increase. And they had all the same pressures that we did with a 18% increase in healthcare costs, all that stuff, and they managed to keep it to 6.2. So that was not too bad.
Mhm.
Village manager labor hasn't been funded for a while because it's in administrative costs, it's just there's a few lines in here that we're gonna just have to polish up because you know, they came with the form. We don't need any more. Insurance. Actually went down in here. These are just numbers from passive. For the benefits is mostly Christmas bonus and something else. Yep.
Office party.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, that wasn't in the budget before I threw it in last time. So
Right.
we should make it a,
Did Paul's accident cost us very much? In terms of like the attendant costs of unemployment and that
I'd
type
say,
of
He
thing,
was on workers' comp.
yeah,
workers'
Yeah.
comp.
So
only thing it cost us was the fine.
Well, I know that.
yeah. Health insurance, as you know, went up.
How come one year it was 502,000?
Something's wrong in the math on that.
Okay,
Yeah. Those are years BE. Unemployment is down. Let's see, these are all the health, all this benefit stuff is up, the actual numbers from the LCD passive. Retirement's up a little bit because salaries are up a little bit. Social security matches up a little bit, same thing. Here's BJ's question right here. Uniforms.
Ooh,
So uniforms, we've been sitting in $10,000. And this year, we're only gonna spend 8,300. And we're gonna spend much less than that from here on out. The only reason we're spending as much as we are is we're stuck with that contract until the end of June. So at the end of June, we've already got a bid from, well, an estimate, not to be bid when it comes close. From Johnson Hardware.
Commercial washing machine?
No.
Oh,
they're gonna do it.
Just clothes.
oh,
FR rated
buying,
clothing,
buying the clothes.
buying the clothing,
And the guys wash them themselves?
and they're good with it.
Uh-huh.
And it's gonna cost us probably $3,000 to do this. And my guess is half that every year for maintenance. So the $10,000 thing is gonna end up being like a $1,500 or $2,000 thing.
it'll save us in the long run because when we were looking over them, what that company was doing to us was
Uh-huh.
And
Raping the hell out
the
of
other suit, same thing.
Yeah.
I mean, they actually won a bid over the other ones. So,
Uh-huh.
yeah.
That's great.
So yeah, we're gonna. This year, they said it doesn't look that big because we're stuck with them for 6 months.
but it will be.
And then we're doing the full buy this year.
Yeah.
And then it'll be, like I said, $2,500.
Thanks for your work on that. BJ.
Mhm.
Okay. Rents are similar. Fuels are a little more, as everyone can attest to.
Did you figure on what the fuel was that the town select board figured that, or we did the propane?
Yeah, it wasn't state, it was status quo still it's at
Was it? Good.
by far.
Okay.
Yeah, by far. Yeah. So total expenses are just in $2.6 million.
And we're also expecting back $10,000 from,
That's in there.
it was in here credited.
It was all there, yeah, it was
On
on the revenue side.
So what was the grand total with the 35,000 added and?
2,000,000.
599,069.
But that's
Two.
not with 30,000
Point
extra, right?
5.
Yes, that's
Yeah,
added.
that should have added in.
Oh,
okay.
no, the 30,000, when you change the 5,000 to 35,
Right, that added
it all added up right.
Okay, so it's
Okay.
2,500,069.
99,069. Yep,
So we're talking, we're about
Electric.
14 thousand more than last year.
I know at one point in time we were talking about using ARPA funds on this. Do we need to, or is everything
Last
kind
year-
of looking good?
Last year, we were at 2,586,766.
Okay.
This is what I had on this paperwork.
Okay.
So we're
Unless I
just,
missed something other than that,
Nope.
that's all. So
Yep.
I'm just trying to find out, is that enough increase in today's day and age? I'm
Well,
looking,
there's been some things that have gone. That, you know, some things have gone up, which we accounted for, other things have gone down, you know, like. Not paying Dolan, not paying astronomical amounts of lawyer fees,
yep,
uniforms, so things, have, you know.
yep. So that paper that I gave you there, but that was just a quick brainstorming by Rosemary and Meredith last time. They added a bunch of money to the budget within minutes of talking about it. So I just wanted to make sure that
Yep,
Rosemary's been telling us about the income from the electrical and going, we're 3 months. So I just want to make sure that I would rather have our residents and
Have it be higher.
ratepayers have a surplus than a deficit. I'd rather come in and say, hey, we asked for too much. Look at this, we got a little extra.
yep,
so by this, it only
No,
went up. It
Now,
only went up.
now,
13K.
at the same time, we're raising everything. I get that.
When is the study gonna be done? I know,
so we should, I think we're June now,
June.
but yeah, we should be filing in June.
and you think it'll be about 10, maybe 12% increase?
Everything's been coming in between 11 to 15%, and most people are in the same boat.
We'll all pass for 25.
So that'll increase our revenue,
By 11 to 15%, yeah.
yeah.
But then we have to figure we won't get another rate increase for a few years, right? So we have to spread it out. No,
We're gonna start
That's
doing
not
it here.
Because now with the new rules of the PUC, we can raise up to 2% without going through them. So we can start doing the way you should do it and just do little bumps.
Yeah.
Little.
And to stay,
easier on.
Staying ahead of the game, that's all, so that we don't have to do what we're about to do.
Yeah,
right,
so that'll mean we'll probably have a surplus. I mean, if everything
well,
works out,
I would say no, because it's gonna take how long when we're beyond the old rates for, probably 3/4 of the year. I mean, it'll file in
It won't
June.
go into an.
How long-
Effect until
It's not gonna-
October.
okay,
It will at the end of the year.
It will next time.
Right, it'll help
Right,
next year, but
right.
it's not gonna do much for us this year.
okay,
Stuff's gonna continue to go up. Like I said, the transformers have almost doubled.
Right,
Ken Nolan once told me that if a small village electric department is managed right, it should create a little bit of extra that would help, that helps other
Mhm.
aspects of the village.
right,
Not like a big profit thing, but
right.
just,
It used to.
Except the past few
Well,
years, we
it
haven't
used
done
to,
it.
And,
It just
You know what?
used to.
Yeah.
it's one of those things, it's not just, it wasn't, I wouldn't point fingers at predecessors on this one,
Nope.
because it's across the board.
Yep.
It was a complete, product of how the market worked. So 2008 inflation, the big hit then,
Stayed limbo.
but departments were hurt, they all went in for rate increases. Right, and they all got them, us included. And then
The market went down.
expenses went down and everyone started making money. And everyone was all in happy land. And then it came back and for
Yeah.
people to keep a level budget because it hadn't hurt us yet, but all of a sudden it went right past. So.
And then they didn't want to be the bad guys and raise it.
And
So that's where we are now.
It's just the whole COVID thing, no one did anything.
Mhm.
It's the way of life, when it
And
comes down.
everyone raise rates at the same time.
Hey, at
It's like,
least we're not like more stuff,
right.
Why are they high?
30%.
30%.
That's
Oh, yeah.
everywhere,
They're
Crazy.
bad.
So,
everywhere. One more question. We
Yeah.
have an unaffordable heating act coming up. Did we take into account for the extra cost on per gallon of fuel that we're gonna be burning?
Oh,
I
that
know we
won't
didn't
go
when we
through.
got bids. I know we didn't when we discussed how much we'd spend on it.
right, well,
they're talking on the average of a home, it's gonna be $500 a
Well,
year
you're
increase.
putting the cart before the horse in that,
Yeah.
because there's a lot of pushback.
That's
I'm
not
just-
gonna happen.
Well, I get it.
That's not gonna,
I mean,
Oil
it's that,
oil costs are starting to come down.
yeah, that's having, that's getting. They're just getting torn up in there.
yeah, they are.
Just remember, they raised our fuel tax
I know,
in the middle of a pandemic when
Yeah.
everybody was sitting at
I
home.
know. This one's,
Just,
this one's
this
causing,
Vermont,
I would say this one's causing a lot more.
This one's
grief.
not gonna happen. There's a lot of
Yeah.
people writing letters. It's,
Yeah,
And the other thing, we've got the possibility of like some big other areas of savings, like this cold storage building, if we can take that, stop heating that.
we'll have to talk to the town about that, they're uneasy about it,
Uh-huh.
so.
They take it pretty good though, I thought.
Well, no, they want to meet because they don't want, they want to sit, they're down the time, they just want to turn the heat down.
Yep.
so it freezes.
Very minimum.
When we get the water out of it, let them have their heat. I don't care.
I mean, so that's probably something with it being a real estate type thing, would be maybe a executive session in a future meeting.
did they talk about that at their last select meeting?
I think it was the one before, right?
One of the, yeah.
'Cause I watched, I think it was two of them ago.
I've been looking for it.
So my only concern is, and I'm not thinking for the select board or the town of Johnson at all, I'm thinking for us. Is that eventually, when we do our garage, we're gonna need that building. So we're gonna wanna keep heating it for a while.
Well, the proposal that, they've had worked on isn't getting rid of the equipment at all.
Just shut it out.
It's just stabilizing it by either draining it or filling it with glycol, shutting it down. And
Yep, I'm just saying that
shut
we
off the
gotta,
water.
we need to consider that, it's gonna be a 6-8 month project over there. And we will need
Yeah,
a
we're not,
building.
yeah,
and
we're
that's-
not- we're
We're
not-
gonna commandeer that building again.
we're not talking about getting rid of the ability.
Yeah.
Just, there's no sense in doing it.
With all the holes and everything in it from the critters and everything.
Well, I'm just, the reason I'm saying that is because we gotta consider the water aspect to it also. Because when the crew there, it's gonna be water. So it's just something to think about, that we are gonna need a temporary garage again, like we used it before, when we didn't have the scrubber.
Right, so. Yeah,
Do we have any more discussion that we need to do before we vote on this?
Rosemary, you're comfortable with that?
electric
Yes.
A motion to approve the electrical budget as written for, what was the number again here?
2,599,069.
There you go. For 2023.
Is there a second?
Second,
Ken's motion.
BJ just said it, BJ.
Oh, BJ seconded. Any more discussion?
what percentage is that? Do we know? I know we're just talking about percentages, but I didn't really get what this percentage would actually be.
that,
2586766.
I would say 2.87.
And then 26.
That's just like,
Oh,
it's
that's,
less than 1%,
yeah, that's a little, that's
but but that was a deficit year also,
right.
so. It's less than
That's
1%.
not percent of the.
No, the last year's approved budget was like 0.5% higher.
And what's the shortfall, Rosemary, roughly if the,
Well, right now, the shortfall, including depreciation, of predicted expense, of predicted, revenues is $236,000.
so, but we-
80,000 of that is fake money, that's the depreciation.
okay, so tell me what we might, so I know it doesn't work that way. 'cause-
Right, so
It's-
essentially $183,000.
Uh-huh.
But we have to come up with what we're gonna.
But there's flow, cash flow, so we don't necessarily.
Okay, I think that's what that,
It's where we,
that 125 buffer in ARPA makes you feel comfy-ish, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, there you
Okay,
go.
thank you. Any more discussion before we vote?
Comfy-ish.
Yeah, it's a turn.
All right, all those in favor of this budget of electric budget, 2,599,
2 million.
2,599,069.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Passes unanimously.
Oh, yeah, just as point, I'm not silly enough not to, have her, give me a board.
Oh, we know.
But she sees it and goes, yes, before you see it.
If I look it over again and see anything major,
Yeah,
I'm sorry, we didn't have a
We'll
manager
meet
for a
again.
year and a half, supports a half,
So.
for us to have, Rosemary.
absolutely. I'm just like, I'm not that silly to bring it to you before I had her eyes on it.
Okay, the next item on the agenda is discuss and vote on village report dedication recipient.
Don't we have to do
The
the
general budget,
general budget?
general budget, just,
Good try, Steve.
Oh,
General, we haven't done the general budget yet.
Okay, so this is where you
The
have.
electric, really good
budget.
budget.
I can always try.
Yep.
What else did I say? Once, don't know. Good.
yes, actually, that's notated down here.
It is,
It is,
you're the man.
yeah, it's notated. There's a note on it. Yep. All right, we have the general budget. Taxes. Or someone. Yeah, pretty much that whole upper section is really static. We'll go down to. More, oops, what did I do?
Because we have all those trailers. Yeah.
Printers.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's static. Other revenues. Mostly the same. Miscellaneous, you can't count on, so I just went with. Like last year was 2,800, the previous year we got 1,300, so I just put a, good estimate in there.
Where are you? Sorry.
I'm sorry.
Other revenue.
In other revenues, on miscellaneous.
Miscellaneous income.
Right in there
Yeah.
somewhere.
Where's the pilot money come from again? I can't remember.
That comes from the state.
Okay, I thought. yes.
Town tax appropriation. Or this is down to fire. So that's basically their contracts. Yeah. So the town, there's all the fire contracts. So basically, we can give them for this whole section of stuff that you've already approved.
Right.
It's the fire department budget. Yeah. Okay. That's the revenue side. You'll see the expense side down below. So then we go into. Whoops. Sorry. The general portion of board salaries. And. Auditor salaries, and then. The general portion of office salaries, including Ann. That's why it's more.
and you,
And then,
what's the ratio of, like yours, for example, how much is on the electric and how much is on the general?
well, let's take a look at that. Mine is 72.5% electric,
Uh-huh.
8% general,
Uh-huh.
10 and 10 on water and sewer. Yep. And is 70, 10, 10, 10.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yep. Then all this is just breakdown on this salary spreadsheet from the actual numbers. Security match and retirement, all that stuff. Street lights, this is all fairly static. I bumped. I had reduced legal expenses and a little birdie convinced me I probably should keep it at 5 just in case. Tweet. Yeah, he's the little birdie. I said, yeah, it's a good idea. So. Insurances. Beautification and board committee project. We brought that up to include the $776 or whatever dollars you guys approved. For the tree board.
780.
Yep. I increased parades, events and celebrations, because, well,
We haven't had any.
we need to do some of that stuff.
We do,
Exactly.
we do.
Hey, what's CDBG? Sorry, I don't know if you. CDBG?
ARPA green, it
That's
says,
that was some
that's a
ARPA
very
money
old,
that they used, yeah,
Very old account.
yeah,
Okay, so you start,
being
Community
used,
development block grant.
yeah, it's gone.
so your increase for the parades events, that's not to no committee, that is our control, correct?
Correct. Right.
And then we just want to make sure that the beautification committee's budget stays at 500 and the other is for the tree board.
Yep, that's right in the notes, and which tree board request.
Yep.
Yep. Yep. Okay. And let's see, move down to postages. You know, we didn't use the full 2,000 last year, but you never know.
Social it's gone up.
It has
Yeah.
gone up.
Did it go up again?
Yes.
Really? I never mail a letter.
Office supplies, we've. Been pretty good if you look at things, we've been using less, so I cut it a little bit.
No, and that. Your
And
new
I
laptop,
also-
Ian's new laptop, that,
That's in computer and peripherals and,
yep, I just see the office supplies, so I didn't know if that was gonna be part of it.
yeah, and the, you know, the office supplies are gonna. Well, not on the general, but on the other sides, they're gonna go down. Because we're gonna, well, water and sewer, we're gonna stop getting return envelopes, so. Which you know,
Is that enough money in computer support?
okay, also. So remember, this is just for general, there's computer support in all the departments. General is one of the smallest departments. So, you know,
So what we agreed upon with the select board is just split up between the departments.
so, well, we got a lot of this stuff split,
It's split.
That through different departments.
but, you know. 5%, so electricity gets a lot bigger split.
I understand, yep, it's the big budget, yep.
Right. So,
Okay.
yeah, that's what, a lot of times you're seeing low numbers here because this is. The minority department,
They're already bigger in the other ones,
So,
basically.
right? So yeah, if we had. One computer support number, it'd be much larger than what you're seeing.
So it's enough because, I mean, the people in the office were talking about wanting to get trained. So there's enough money, correct, in the budget?
For training, I bumped training numbers across the board,
Okay.
yeah. So the total. Village office expense is up a tad, well, it's down from the. It's down from budgeted, but it's up from what we actually did.
So the total village office expense is also building and grounds. That's the way I read
No,
it.
building grounds is the next column, is the next group. The building, what's the next headline?
So the village office expenses don't cover the mowing and contracting mowing and stuff that we have done.
So this is, yeah, this is, that's under the buildings and ground portion of the general. That's, you know. That's it, let's put this, the column we just got done is indoors, and now we're going out.
Oh,
So yeah, there you get the flowing, you know, water bills. Building maintenance, I more than double building maintenance because. Well, we need to work on some buildings. This building's one of them.
What are we planning on doing? Is that for?
Well, we've got.
The tower hasn't been done yet.
Tower needs to be finished, if we need to, you know, we probably need to pressure lock, we probably should. Look in the very near future of repainting.
The whole lobby needs to be, the whole
Yeah,
entry,
it's just-
which I was supposed to do, what, how many years
It just
ago?
needs some TLC, the place needs some TLC.
So are you, this isn't this budget, but, I was noticing the fire department, like on the Union Bank side, like that kind of needs paint. And before it starts rotting, it'd be nice to
Yeah,
put that in there.
yep, I'll mention that to RJ and. Yeah, cause him and his officers developed that budget, they did a really
Yeah.
good job, but I'll mention that
Yeah,
we need to work that building.
because they're beautiful buildings.
Well, say if I
Make sure,
if I remember correctly, they worked on this side last year.
right, yeah,
They probably worked in their
I'd be
way
willing to bet he
around,
has a
'cause they do the work themselves.
I'd be willing to bet he has a plan,
Yeah, he's.
but I'll
yeah.
ask him about it.
Because they had Farm Gardens gave them a lift, they pressure washed, painted. Did a
Yeah,
bunch
is
of
it
stuff on
new?
this on the front side, so they're probably.
okay.
Yep.
But yes, that would be good to bring up to RJ.
Mhm.
We love our fire department.
Absolutely. So now we get down to, general department O and M labor. This is, you know, all your sidewalk plowing and such. Let's, I put that up a little bit, even though. Well, actually, I think I kept it fairly low, because people are paying more, people getting paid more, but we're doing less overtime.
But our salt budget went up.
That's not labor though. This is, yeah, it's not labor. Yeah, but yeah, and
I guess probably didn't know. if it was-
and actually our salt. Not too late about that, don't worry about the salt budget. Just that. Yep, so they said this is all the low percentage of thing, electricity's keeping pretty much the same because we didn't use the full 400. It's hard to look at it and just think, oh, this looks too small, but that's because we're just using a little portion.
What each
Yeah.
department.
Yep.
What
Heat
is-
went up. That's kind of our biggest line item is heat. Building maintenance, I put a little bit more money in for the same reasons.
This section off.
Well.
We're still on Zoom.
Yeah, and, yeah, the TV is on, the TV people are recording also. So,
So the summer streets went up quite a bit. What is that? for?
it didn't go up, actually. It went up for what we used.
Oh, I
I
see.
kept, I level funded it fairly much.
Yeah,
But they didn't use all of it last year.
so what does that mean? Is that for potholes and?
Street sweeping, potholes, all that stuff. Yeah. I just want, you know, they used more than budgeted the previous year, so I didn't feel comfortable
Yeah, cause you know.
dropping it.
Yeah.
Yep. Snow removal expenses, I put more than what we experienced last year, but less than what we budgeted last year.
They don't want to buy a new Bobcat?
Not currently. No, they're doing a good job maintaining
I
them.
was
We,
gonna say Jeff does a pretty good job of buzzing around on that thing.
yeah. We had a local contractor do a demonstration and mobile sandblast at one of them, where we repainted it.
You
Go
waited
figure.
too long, you had to sand it again. You know, if that contractor was as nice as I think he is, he'd have come back, and clean that up.
Yeah, seriously.
The guy that sandblasted the bucket for us.
Did they wait too long? I'm sorry, I didn't catch it. Did they wait too long in all
They
the
had
process?
a little touch up, yeah.
They're complaining heavily about the guy that did the work.
Yeah, I told them 12 hours, you gotta have it painted after I blast it.
There was an issue.
Yeah, so, yeah,
Leads are-
pretty much level funded a lot of things. Capital tool purchases, I've got down from budget a little bit, because had been using it. Let's see. Then we get down, so that's total general department, which is up by, so the general department's up 18 grand or so, 15 grand. And then we go back to fire department, and we'll scan through fire department because
They're all.
right. Let me sit down to the total and the big important pool part.
Hmm.
The bottom line is, we're gonna come in just about flat.
Yeah, complaining about the.
No,
Yep. So this is one place we won't have to tell people we're gonna increase their costs. Unless you wanna build in some.
You know, I was
Yeah,
gonna say
we're
it, but
pretty
I'm
good
just afraid to, because we've done a lot. We're gonna scare, people are gonna be mad at us. And
what do you think they're gonna be? I don't know.
I
What
don't
do you
think
think
they
they're
will.
gonna be mad?
you're getting hit by the town, you're getting hit by the village, you're getting hit by the state, you're getting hit by the
You
gas
look
pumps,
at-
you're getting hit at the grocery store.
They
There's a lot of hits going on right now.
There is, but all you gotta do is look at what's happening in other towns and we look pretty good. That's what they're gonna.
When you're writing the check, you don't think that way.
I know.
Okay, well, you pay village taxes,
Yes. Well, look at the property we have.
then you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So my recommendation is that we don't have tax increase, because we're right there. And. They're getting hit with almost 10% water and sewer. There's gonna be a significant electrical increase. Next year, we're gonna have a minor water increase, but probably not any sewer. So if this budget ends up being a bump off. We can do a small tax increase and it won't, hit like a sledgehammer like it would this year. Okay.
So my only other concern with all that is is it gonna cover any unexpected?
There's some push here.
What do you got for wiggle room in there this year? Just about.
Well, a lot of-
There's a few things that
There's
are, there's a few things that are.
20 grand.
Yeah,
Rosemary, that enough wiggle room for the year?
For the general department? More
Yeah.
than that.
Yeah, no, I'm just, 'cause
Yeah.
she knows, she tells us straight up,
Yep.
up or down, up or down.
Yep.
Okay, I'm okay with it. You guys okay with it?
Good.
yeah.
So motion to pass the general department budget. What was the grand total?
438, 683.
The second to Ken.
Second.
BJ seconds it. Any more discussion? Vote. All in favor?
Aye.
I,
Aye. Passes unanimously.
Excellent. Okay, there's one last budget item. That because you can't. You have to have a little humor here and there.
bonus
There we
for
go.
all the board members, huh?
All right.
In case of budget season breaks loose, it's village manager bourbon. And just for the record,
Well, where is it?
How many bottles are there?
Where is it?
just for the record, because no seals were disturbed until 8 o'clock that night at home.
I think you should just turn that computer off and break it out.
There you go.
All right, we still got one more item here.
Maybe we should do some.
Discussion about village report.
No trouble. Let's go into executive session.
Names, Ken?
I'd motion that we dedicate this year's village book to Gordon Smith.
Did we do Gordy 2 years ago?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
Was Gordy on it 2 years ago?
Yeah.
I thought he,
Yeah.
yeah.
okay, I had a second, Scott Myers. This was suggested by Rosemary last year, and we went with Meredith, so
I agree with Scott.
I would like to go with Rosemary's suggestion.
How recently, I mean, Nate's been here 25 years. We must have done him at some point.
No,
We
no,
haven't done Nate.
I think I would
that was
prefer to
my
do
vote.
Nate.
'Cause-
He's had a lot on his plate.
He's doing a good job, rising to the occasion. It's,
And he's been through,
Well, is this to recognize somebody that does a job and gets paid for it, or to recognize a volunteer for the community? I don't
Makes no
know, that's why I'm
difference.
asking,
Makes
what
no
is it,
done both.
what's
That's-
behind it?
It's been everything.
Okay,
Has it been people who have gotten paid while they're working?
Well, we did Meredith.
In the, for the village?
They did meet quite a few years ago.
Mhm.
Okay.
That was a huge mistake.
Yes.
I'm guessing she's gonna get a double whammy.
Yeah,
Now, the only reason I'd like to suggest that we do Scott is Rosemary brought up some valid points last time. He was in a really turmoilous area when he was doing this. He has been severely undervalued, I think, for quite a few years.
he's
He
been a lot.
did a lot of the pandemic.
He did.
Yeah.
He's done a lot.
I'm.
No, nothing against Nate being.
Yeah, I mean, we put Nate in the queue for real soon.
I would agree with that.
I think Nate is, I just think he's had quite the year. Quite the,
Between his
yeah,
grandson.
and it would just be.
Either way, the chair's gonna write something up, so.
What's that?
I know where you're gonna write the dedication thing,
Yeah, who does write them up?
The chair.
or Rosemary.
I can write it. Well, depending on who it is, I guess I'm gonna have to go interview them because I have, not having lived here that long. Or talk to other people. I don't know, where do you got, is it supposed to be a surprise?
Yeah,
Typically, it's surprise,
Typically,
but
it's-
you know, contact the spouse.
yeah.
For a
Okay,
picture or
I know
something.
Kim pretty good. I could talk to her.
Again, I'm just making suggestions, so if we wanna go with Nate, I have no problem.
And
with
it
that.
should be a village resident, right?
Absolutely.
Oh, well, Nate is,
Nate's town, but
Oh,
he's,
Nate is-
but he's,
Nate
or
is-
for us, but he's with us. And Lois is.
It does have to be a village
No.
person? Yeah, I didn't think
And
so.
Lois is not village,
She's not,
because Lois Fry was who I thought of, because. She
Yeah,
does a
and-
lot.
I thought of Casey Romero because
Oh,
she
oh,
has done the
Oh,
skate
he
park
would be a good one.
and has done so much for that skate park and continues to work on it, even though she doesn't have kids anymore.
She never had kids when she started that. Well, she did have kids, but they were never part of the skate park. Her kids were grown and gone when she started the skate park. Yeah, they were.
Well, let's
they
pick
were-
one.
Pardon?
Let's pick one.
I'm gonna say Casey. I hadn't thought about Casey, but either Casey or Nate. I just feel like Nate has had such a
how about you, Diane?
year.
One choice, please.
Ask other people and I'll come,
Okay.
because I'm gonna.
BJ? Scott. Scott, Ken. Scott, that's 2 for Scott. I'm gonna vote for Nate.
I'll
I
vote for
have to
Nate.
break
That's
the
2.
tie.
I'll vote for Nate.
So. Yours, we're gonna come back to you,
We're back to you.
I'll do Nate.
Nate. Okay, so it looks like, so let's go through it one more time. Who wants Scott? 1, 2?
Yep.
And Nate is 3. Okay, so we're gonna give it to Nate this year.
so those of you on Zoom, this is, since you're employees, this is a sort of kind of executive session, so
Yeah.
don't let Nate know.
Yeah, we want it to be a
Secret.
surprise.
Oh, Mario.
He reads the minutes.
Hmm?
He reads the minutes.
I know he does.
Oh, does he?
He does?
He does.
Well, you can stay up on the.
Well,
The motion we adjourned.
So
No, we have an executive session.
Oh.
Yeah.
it's up to you. No, it says possible that. It says
I'll
possible.
let
If
you
you want
back
to, it's there. If you don't want to, we don't have to.
what do we need? What was it for?
It's BJ Scott, you want,
Oh, no,
You're
you
set.
guys already said it was fine to tell him, and I told him, and you guys already were made
Okay.
aware of it, so that's
Excellent.
done.
Then that thing's, we're done.
Motion we adjourned.
Second,
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Meeting is adjourned.